no one's going to read a blog. But it actually has had a resurgence. And can anyone tell me why they think it's had a great resurgence? Silence. This is what we call crickets. COVID has a lot to do with that. A lot of people spending time at home, sitting around thinking of things, thinking about how they feel about what's happening in the world. Besides COVID, we've had fires, we've had earthquakes, we've had a lot of things going on, political unrest, and people have opinions about that. And they realize, you know what, I can just start writing that. I can write about how I feel about this and what I would like to see differently, or what I would like to share about this. If you don't, you're going to get all these, messages in your email and comments like, where are you? Is everything okay? Are you doing okay? Because people are going to be looking for that. The one thing what will happen is that if you don't stay engaged, if you don't stay consistent, you'll begin to lose your audience. So if you want to make a living full time with blogging, you definitely want to be consistent. When I was growing up, it wasn't. So you don't know whose voice you will also influence. Excuse me, because there's people like myself and others who started to speak out and say, hey, we have African blood, and this is what's going on in our culture, and this is where we get this from. It's those people who started speaking out, excuse me, that started speaking out, that gave voice to other people to speak out. So you don't know what you might share that might empower someone else. Just like she was saying, that being able to see others share their story, to share their voice, to share their opinion, gave them the strength to share their own. Niching is like I mentioned earlier. For example, maybe you're a nurse by day and a cosplayer by night, all day long. I tell people I'm a florist by day. I work with flowers all day long, and then at night I'm a professor. Look at that. So who knows? You might be that one unique person doing this one unique thing. And like I said to you earlier, if there's one, there's two. If there's two, there's three. If there's three, there's four. And it goes on and on. In a world of what, 7 billion people?
7 billion people.
We're at 7 billion. Listen, you can't even understand what a billion looks like. When you think 7 billion people, think about just 1% of that. How many people might be just like you, that are a nurse by day and a cosplayer by night, and are looking for someone who's doing exactly what you're doing, or interested in exactly what you're interested in, and speak to them. And like I mentioned earlier, if you start talking to them, other people are going to be like, who does that? Oh, that's interesting. Let me find out more. Let me go and see that. Let me check them out. And before you know it, you have an engaged audience. Some of them who do what you do, some of them who want to be bold like you and do what you do, and some of them who are just curious and want to learn about what you do. So just go out there, just go for it. Just
go for it.
Just do it. Like Nike says.
And I'm gonna put Zakaria on the spot for just a minute, if he doesn't mind. And I would like him to share with us what his brand is. We've been working together for a little bit now, and he shared a few times about what his interest and his passion and where he wanted to take his blogging. And his influence is really important, because sometimes I refer to myself as the old guy, and I admire Zakaria for what he's doing and what he's learned. So if he doesn't mind, can you share with us your brand and what you're developing?
Is he there?
Yes, okay. I'm thinking, I'm going to be starting a new podcast called Inside the Mind of a Young African. I think that will be targeting all the African people, not only Moroccan people particularly. That's why I've chosen this name.
All right. And see, his growth and development is developed from his passion to provide information that's important. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Africa. Africa is such a diverse continent, and the nations that are there. And it's wonderful to hear a young person such as himself really putting himself out there to share content and information.
So just along those lines, so if you remember, I